What about these kind of ideas that says, the more generous you are, the more you give to charity, the more you do for others, the more you'll have, the more healthy you'll be? Well, sometimes, if you're really established in purity, you will definitely operate like that in the world, and you will have unlimited energy, and everything you do will be continual giving, almost to the point where some people are going, it's too much, and they will only choose certain things, and they will have to go more slowly than you. And you may also engage in charity and giving of money in its raw form as well. But because that's hooked into that flow of purity, then it's just the purity going where it needs to go. But there's also the flip side, isn't there, that we all know, where people may actually even be a little bit selfish, and they're giving to expedite the shame or the guilt or the lack of sharing or the lack of love for others, but they're saying, well, I give to charity, and then it's a cover for their virtue. You see this in a lot of corporate settings as well, where they just expiate their guilt or their destruction of the environment by giving money for planting trees, etc., etc. So it's up to you to always to be able to discern and sense for yourself, is that tree planting project done by a company really because they are sharing their wealth and doing more good in the world because that's really who they are? Or are they covering up for something and just making themselves appear that way? Everything is according to the frequency of those who are involved in the actions. No one action has a precise calibration which says that's bad or that's good. That's what that interdimensional horse wants you to continually think and put onto every type of experience that you have. And it's actually a religious frequency. A religious frequency encourages you to judge everything according to a species of morality that system already pre-decided for you. So what else should we be considering when we're thinking about resetting our relationship with money? I mentioned the bond of affection a great deal, don't I? And how important that is. Can you see how establishing yourself in purity itself first, where there is no lack, is the ultimate bond of affection? Then you can develop true bonds of affection with others, partners, family, if they'll go there with you, people you work with, people you meet, friends, animals, all living beings. And then you generate more and more networks through which the charge and the volume and the frequency of pure love can flow for materialization in your life. So, in actual fact, some people with the highest frequency sometimes have a great deal of resources because they are able to not only generate that, but they make choices about it, they steer and control, they may make some mistakes sometimes, but they are moving from a place of wishing to benefit others all the time. It's rather rare these days, it has to be said, but it does exist. On the converse, we also have scenarios where people are holding on so tightly to what they've got through fear of losing it, they can't open to the very thing that replenishes and rebuilds and starts building right from zero again sometimes when you go to the next level. Sometimes you have nothing because you are building charge ready for the next wave of materialization, but it feels so frightening and so dire, you forget about all the other waves of materialization that you did have in your life previously, but maybe tapered off at the end of one stage before you manage to break through into the next.